All right, let's dive into a question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but actually has some serious science behind it.
Right.
Could we actually eat aliens?
Mm.
We've got some fascinating excerpts from the article. Can we eat aliens? A scientific look at extraterrestrial biology,
Right.
and a few other pieces on alien life and space exploration.
Okay, yeah.
It's a question that really forces us to think about what life really is.
Yeah, it really forces us to confront all our assumptions about life itself and what food is.
Everything's got to be carbon-based,
You know,
breathing oxygen,
like
that sort of thing.
Yeah, we tend to think of life and therefore food in very Earth-centric terms.
Right. What if we encounter something totally different out there?
That's where things get interesting.
Yeah.
Our sources suggest that alien life might not even be carbon-based at all.
Really?
Imagine like silicon-based organisms.
Oh.
Or life forms that thrive on like methane or ammonia. We even see hints of this diversity even here on Earth.
Oh, right.
Like with extremophiles.
Yeah.
Those microbes that exist in incredibly harsh environments.
Right.
Like deep-sea vents or acidic hot springs.
So their biochemistry could be totally different from ours?
Wildly different from ours.
Does that mean we couldn't?
Potentially.
Traditionally.
Our digestive systems are finely tuned to break down specific molecules found in Earth-based life.
Yeah.
And trying to digest a truly alien organism might be like trying to eat rocks. Our bodies simply wouldn't have the enzymes to process it.
Okay, so no silicon steak then?
Yeah.
All right, but
maybe not.
What if we find aliens that are carbon-based?
Okay.
At least they'd have proteins and carbohydrates.
They would.
Right. Well, surely we could handle that.
Not so fast.
What?
Even if we find familiar molecules, there's still the issue of toxicity.
Right. Right.
Think about the pufferfish here on Earth. It contains a deadly neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin. Even when prepared correctly.
Yeah.
Alien life could have similar defense mechanisms.
You're saying like alien poisons?
Things our bodies are totally unprepared for.
Yeah, we have food allergies here on Earth, but an alien allergy could be way worse.
Yeah. Our immune systems have evolved to recognize threats from Earth-based organisms.
Right.
Encountering something totally foreign could trigger unpredictable, potentially life-threatening reactions.
Wow.
It's not just about digestion. It's about whether our bodies could even tolerate these alien substances.
So maybe tucking into an alien burger is a little riskier than we thought.
Yeah.
But what about the potential benefits? Could alien organisms be like the ultimate superfood?
That's a possibility that really captures the imagination.
Right.
Our sources suggest that alien organisms might contain nutrients not found on Earth. Perhaps compounds that offer like enhanced immune function or even resistance to radiation.
Whoa.
Imagine the implications for space travel or even for addressing nutritional deficiencies here on Earth.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right.
We could be talking about
a whole new frontier.
Yeah, a whole new frontier of nutrition.
Nutrition.
A way to solve problems we haven't even considered yet.
But, okay, so say we discover some incredibly nutritious alien life.
Right.
How would we even begin to prepare it? I mean,
where things get really interesting.
Do you roast a methane-breathing blob?
Well,
what does it even look like?
Our sources speculate that the texture of alien meat could be wildly different from anything we're used to.
Right.
Imagine gelatinous creatures.
Okay.
Or meat so tough and fibrous, it would require completely new cooking techniques.
All right, that's kind of hard to wrap my head around.
Right.
But even more mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would it taste like?
It's like, I mean, how do you even describe a flavor?
It's truly uncharted territory.
Based on completely different biochemistry.
Some scientists speculate that the flavors could be incredibly intense.
Really?
Perhaps metallic, acidic, or even earthy in a way we haven't experienced before.
Okay, hold on. Before we get too carried away with space-age culinary adventures, let's get back down to Earth for a second.
Let's get back to reality for a second.
Okay. We've talked about the dangers of eating alien life.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture here? What are the ethics of eating other life forms?
That's where we move from the realm of science fiction into a profound ethical debate.
Like if we encounter intelligent species.
Yeah, it forces us to ask some tough questions.
Right.
Do we have the right to consume other beings,
Yeah.
even if they're vastly different from us?
That's
Does intelligence or sentience change the equation?
That's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So it seems like
Big questions.
even if we solve the scientific puzzles of alien food,
Yeah.
the ethical dilemmas could be even more complex.
Exactly.
Where?
And there's another layer to consider,
But
the legal side of things.
oh, right.
If we do discover edible alien life,
Yeah.
who gets to control it?
Oh.
Are there going to be space food regulations?
Now, that's an interesting thought.
Right.
We have international laws
Yeah.
governing fishing rights and things like that.
Exactly.
But I imagine
It would be
trying to regulate alien food resources
Yeah.
would be a whole other level of complexity.
It would require a whole new legal framework,
Yeah.
potentially even interplanetary treaties.
Wow.
We have to figure out issues of ownership, resource allocation, and environmental protection.
So it seems like we've only just
On a scale we've never encountered before.
touched the surface
Right.
of this topic.
It's a big one.
So to summarize what we've learned so far,
Okay.
alien life could be incredibly diverse,
Yeah.
and eating it comes with a host of potential benefits
Right.
and risks.
And risks.
And even if we figure out the science,
Yeah.
the ethical and legal implications are mind-boggling.
Precisely. And it's not just about aliens.
Right.
It's about us.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront our own assumptions about life,
Yeah.
food, and our place in the universe.
Really big stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break,
Okay.
and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
It's fascinating to think that the possibility of eating alien life could actually force us to re-examine our relationship with food here on Earth.
Yeah, that's a really insightful point.
Like how we treat the animals.
If we're hesitant about the ethics of consuming intelligent aliens,
Right?
shouldn't we apply that same level of scrutiny to the way we treat animals in our current food system?
Makes you wonder if the search for extraterrestrial food sources could lead to more ethical and sustainable practices here at home.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that the questions we're grappling with regarding alien life
Okay.
often mirror challenges we're already facing here on Earth.
I want to shift gears for a moment.
Okay, sure.
Go back to something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
The potential taste of alien cuisine.
Yeah.
You know, our sources threw out some intriguing, if somewhat unsettling possibilities.
Some interesting ideas.
Right.
Yeah, one article suggested that alien organisms, especially those that have evolved under extreme environmental conditions, could have truly bizarre flavors.
But like?
They mentioned possibilities like metallic, acidic, and earthy in a way we've never experienced.
I don't know if I'm ready for my taste buds to feel like they're licking a battery.
Hopefully it wouldn't be quite that extreme.
Right.
But the point is, our palates are attuned to the flavors of Earth-based life.
Right.
Alien cuisine could be a truly sensory shock.
I'm trying to picture what an alien spice rack would look like.
What would that look like?
Probably not your typical salt and pepper shakers.
Definitely not. And imagine the cooking methods.
Yeah.
We might need entirely new technologies to prepare alien ingredients.
Like what?
Our sources discuss steaming or braising for delicate gelatinous creatures.
Right.
But what if the meat is incredibly tough?
Yeah.
Like some kind of space lobster.
You're saying we need like a laser cutter to get through it?
Perhaps not that drastic, but you get the idea.
Right.
We might need to rethink our entire culinary approach to accommodate alien ingredients.
Speaking of culinary techniques, our sources briefly mentioned this concept of alien fermentation.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that could actually work?
It's a fascinating idea.
Like, could we create like space-age cheese?
Yeah. But there are a lot of unknowns.
Or alien salami.
Fermentation relies on specific types of microbes.
Right.
And we have no idea of alien organisms.
And even if they did, who knows what those alien microbes would do?
We have the right microbial environment for these processes to occur.
We could end up with some funky space cheese or accidentally unleash a new pandemic.
It highlights the need for extreme caution and extensive research before we even consider incorporating alien ingredients into our food system.
Okay, we've talked about the scientific hurdles, the ethical considerations, but there's another massive piece of this puzzle we haven't discussed yet.
That's that?
The legal implications. Who owns the rights to alien life?
Right.
Especially if it's a valuable food source.
That's a question that would require a whole new area of law.
Right.
It's uncharted territory.
Right.
We have international agreements,
Like what?
that govern things like fishing rights and resource extraction in international waters, but applying those principles to extraterrestrial life forms.
Do you think they'll be like...
It would be incredibly complex.
Headlines like, intergalactic food fight erupts. Nations clash over rights to alien shrimp.
Well, hopefully it wouldn't devolve into an interplanetary conflict.
Right.
But it raises crucial questions about ownership, resource allocation, and even intellectual property.
Right.
Imagine a company patents a specific type of alien protein, or a country claims exclusive rights to a planet teeming with edible life.
That opens up so many problems.
Right, it does.
How would we ensure fair distribution of these food resources?
Yeah, these are...
Would alien food actually solve world hunger, or...
Those are the very real questions we'd have to grapple with.
Would it just become another commodity?
And it's not just about legal frameworks.
Controlled by...
Think about the safety regulations we'd need to establish.
Corporations and wealthy nations.
How do you inspect a space-based food processing plant?
Right.
Who sets the standards for alien food safety?
It seems like we'd need to reinvent our entire approach to food safety.
You're absolutely right.
On an interplanetary scale.
It wouldn't just be about adapting existing regulations. It would require entirely new protocols, testing methods, and international cooperation to ensure the safety of alien food sources.
So the question of eating aliens isn't just about biology or culinary curiosity.
It's a portal.
It's a portal into much bigger questions.
Into much bigger questions.
About ethics,
Yeah.
law, and the very future of humanity.
But ethics, law, and the very future of humanity.
Right.
Yeah, it forces us to consider.
It forces us to think about not just what we eat.
Not only what we eat.
But how we as a species interact with the universe around us.
But how we as a species interact with the universe around us.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a reminder that the search for alien life, even for something as seemingly mundane as food.
Yeah, for something as seemingly mundane as food.
Right.
Could have profound implications.
Yeah.
For the future of our species.
Really makes you think.
It does.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this one.
We have.
Haven't we? From alien biology and potential superfoods.
How much there is to consider.
To space-age culinary techniques.
When it comes to the question of...
And the mind-boggling ethics and legalities of it all.
Eating aliens.
It's incredible how much there is to consider.
Right.
When it comes to the question of eating aliens.
It's a question that seems deceptively simple on the surface. But the more you explore it,
as we wrap up this deep dive,
the more you realize how deeply it connects to our understanding of life.
What are the key takeaways here?
Food and our place in the cosmos.
What should our listeners be pondering as they go about their day, maybe looking at their next meal a little differently?
Well, I think the first takeaway is the sheer humbling vastness of possibilities.
Okay.
Life as we know it on Earth might be just a tiny sliver of the diversity that could exist out there in the universe.
Right.
That means our assumptions about what constitutes food.
Like that saying, if you can imagine it somewhere out there, it's probably real.
Could be far too limited.
Except in this case, it might be even more bizarre than we can imagine.
And that leads to the second takeaway.
Right.
Which is the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay.
The question of eating aliens isn't just some quirky thought experiment.
Yeah.
It touches upon real-world concerns about food security.
Like?
Ethical consumption.
Right.
And even the legal and political frameworks we'll need to navigate.
It highlights how something as basic as food can become this lens through which we can examine some of the biggest
as we venture further into space,
challenges and opportunities facing humanity.
I think that's a really important point.
Right.
We often compartmentalize these things.
Right.
Science over here, ethics over there, law somewhere else entirely.
Right.
But the question of eating aliens forces us to bring all these perspectives together.
Yeah, we can't just address these issues in isolation.
It's a reminder that we can't just address these issues in isolation.
They all intertwine and inform each other.
They all intertwine and inform each other.
Okay.
And finally, I think the most crucial takeaway is the need for humility and responsibility.
Okay.
As we explore the cosmos and potentially encounter new life forms.
Right.
We have to proceed with a sense of wonder and curiosity.
Uh-huh.
But also with a deep awareness of the potential consequences of our actions.
You know, we can't just treat alien life, especially if it's edible,
Right.
as another resource to be exploited.
As just another resource to be exploited.
We have to engage with these questions thoughtfully and ethically.
And perhaps most importantly,
Right.
use it as an opportunity to reflect on our own practices here on Earth.
Like if we're concerned about the ethics of eating intelligent aliens,
If we're concerned about the ethics of eating intelligent aliens,
maybe that's a sign that we should be more mindful of the choices we make.
maybe that's a sign that we should be more mindful of the choices we make.
About the food we consume every day.
About the food we consume every day.
Right. Food for thought.
Food for thought indeed.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, the next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to consider the journey it took to get to your plate.
Take a moment to consider the journey that it took to get to your plate.
Think about that complex web of life that sustains us.
Think about the complex web of life that sustains us.
And the choices we make.
And the choices that we make.
As individuals and as a species.
As individuals and as a species.
And perhaps just maybe allow your mind to wander a bit. And contemplate the possibilities of a future. Where we might share a table not just with each other. But with beings from other worlds. Who knows what the universe holds? Thanks for joining us on this fascinating deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep exploring.
And keep looking up.
Keep questioning and keep looking up.